Hello, hosts and travelers. Welcome to the podcast Hosting Your Home. Each week, around the world, millions of guests stay in other people's homes using the Airbnb platform. Debbie Herder looks for stories that come from these connections. Listen in as we hear stories that teach us the human side of hosting your home.
Hi everyone, welcome to Hosting Your Home. I'm Debbie Herder, your host. I had the privilege of doing an after-shoot episode with Robert Geller of FabStayz and Danny Cabrero, aka Liquor Minnie, the drag queen flight attendant in FabStayz' latest PR production. Join us for a zany and fun discussion about their day shooting photos dressed in full drag out and about in Portland, Oregon. Stick with us, because towards the end of the episode, we talk seriously about LGBTQ travel issues and what you can do as a host to help make this part of our traveling community feel safer. Thanks for listening. We just spent a fantastic, fabtastic day yesterday together, and I would love for you, maybe Robert, to start us out by telling our listeners what we did yesterday.
Well, it was incredible. Well, first, my name is Robert Geller. I'm the founder of FabStayz. My pronouns are he, him, his. And yesterday was a whirlwind day here in Portland, Oregon, greater Portland, Oregon, since we covered quite a bit of territory. And it was a photo shoot for our new ad campaign. They'll be launching in January. It is our Fab Destinations ad campaign, and we're launching it with our first Fab destination, Greater Portland. I'm combining Fort Lauderdale. I'm combining Portland and Fort Lauderdale. I'm combining both coasts. I've been doing that all day yesterday during the shoot. But Greater Portland, Oregon is our first Fab destination. And again, a whirlwind from, I don't know how many miles we covered. It was definitely all day, 12 locations approximately, shooting our brand ambassador, sitting to my left, that I was so excited to bring onto this project. So we were at a photo shoot all day throughout the city, countless locations of quintessential Portland that we want to share with LGBTQ travelers worldwide and showcase all the exciting and fabulous things to do here in this area.
And what makes it really fun is that Danny Lee, your ambassador, is a drag queen.
Yes,
yes. So, Danny, let's hear from you about your experience yesterday.
Hi, everybody. This is Danny Lee Cabrero, a.k.a. Liquor Minnie, the new brand ambassador for FabStayz. Yesterday was super exciting. One, I got to meet Robert for the first time. We've had several phone conversations after we were connected via Facebook to venture out on this exciting adventure. I love to sign off on things that are inclusive to the LGBTQ community, and I really believe in my heart that that's what FabStayz is all about. So yesterday was super fun.
Yeah.
We went all over the greater Portland, Oregon area and did a huge photo shoot, and it was embraced by the city. Shout out to Blue Star Donuts, a couple other locations that just were super excited about.
Can you go ahead and mention those locations?
Yeah, so
that makes
it was
fun.
Blue Star Donuts and Stone. I don't remember.
Where did we start?
Robert, help me.
Sure.
It was such a busy day.
We started off at a host-to-host member. Actually, gosh. Okay, let's go back to the very beginning. So the first location was you, Debbie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where I've had the great fortune of staying at your short-term rental multiple times. So thank you for hosting me again.
My pleasure.
And your location was our first shoot. We have you with Danny. We're having this fabulous greeting outside your short-term rental. And then it was off to Tiny Homes. Michelle, another host-to-host member, a Fab ally that we absolutely love.
That was fun because drag queens are super large. And so to be shot at tiny homes.
Yes.
That was kind of cute.
And Danny, you are 6 feet?
Well, I'm 5'10", but with my heels, I'm like 6'2".
And those were amazing heels.
Those were
Thanks.
fantastic.
Those are my fab heels.
So it was tiny homes, and we did multiple tiny homes.
Yeah.
Then it was, then we went to another. We went to the Purple.
Yeah, the Purple House.
I call it the Purple Palace. I've stayed there as well. Another host-to-host member in Airbnb.
Purple's my favorite color.
Another fab listing. And then from there, then it was Multnomah.
Oh, you went to the
We
dispensary,
went to the
right?
dispensary. That
Yes.
was cool.
Yes,
the
yes.
dispensary.
They were so welcoming.
Yeah, that was fun.
Again, quintessential
Yes.
Portland. So we did the dispensary. And then donuts was afterwards.
Yeah, Blue Star Donuts.
Oh,
Star Donuts.
that was fantastic. Of course, we got to...
Those donuts were fabulous.
the samples we got. So we shot there. The weather was so perfect. It was like the sun gods were following us.
Yeah.
So after the donuts,
The
brewery, brew
What's
pub.
the name of that?
Sasquatch.
That's
yes.
it.
They were,
Sasquatch.
again, so welcoming.
Uh-huh.
Everyone was just like open arms.
Yeah.
Then, where did we go from there?
Then
Downtown?
we went to the bookstore.
The bookstore, Powell's.
Powell's.
You have to. If you're visiting Portland,
Yes.
love books.
And then the food trucks.
Oh my God, the food truck.
The grilled cheese.
Yes. Tillamook? Is that the cheese? What's the cheese?
Tillamook cheese.
Oh my God. So that was
Pioneer Square, right?
yes.
Oh, yes.
So we shot Danny Liquor Mini sitting on her suitcase in front of the food truck.
Grilled cheese.
With
grilled cheese.
with that gooey melty
Yes,
cheese.
It was so good.
Incredible.
Perks of being a superstar drag queen is you get to eat all the props.
And then we got one more shot before the sunset.
At the...
I call it maybe the rickshaw, but
The rickshaw.
the electric rickshaw.
E-Talk Tours.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
That was cool. He was awesome. He had music playing and some of my favorite songs. And
And the bridge right behind us.
Yeah.
Which bridge was that? The Tillamook? No. Everything's
stuck on cheese.
I know. I'm stuck on the cheese. I'm stuck on the cheese.
What's the walking bridge? I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah. Tillicum?
Well,
Tillicum.
Tillicum. Yes, it's the
Yes.
Tillicum Bridge. Thank you.
Those shots are fantastic.
Those were, I think that was
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it was exciting to collaborate with you and have you in some of the photos because I think it's important for the world to see what you're doing.
That's
well,
right.
that was fun. I mean, I slipped into that picture, and it was so cool. With you, with all the pink luggage, you've got to see this pink Barbie luggage.
Yeah, so it's very retro.
Totally.
Hot pink.
And of course,
Samsonite.
there's a story behind the luggage. That was Debbie and her husband were carting me around to thrift stores through Portland, and the first thrift store we found the luggage. It was incredible. And then, of course, I had to go to Lowe's to find the correct pink paint and spray paint them. Thank you, Rob, for helping me with that. So,
fabulous.
crazy project.
Yeah.
Crazy.
What
Fab
fun.
luggage.
Fab. And a fab day. It was very, very
was.
cool.
It
And
was.
Danny, you were beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Gorgeous.
Thank
So
you.
one of the things that I wanted to highlight here is we're talking about not just the day, but what was behind that, why you're doing this. And I'd like to talk about specifically about hosts and about how hosts can help to serve your community.
Well, interesting. First, Portland is our number one market. We have more hosts in the Portland area than any other location in the world. We have been embraced by this community, by host to host, by you, Debbie, which has been phenomenal. And, so I'm asked often, how can I be, from a host perspective, how can I be recognized as LGBTQ welcoming? And of course, there's our platform, come on our platform, but I also show examples of what one can do to their listing so that the LGBTQ traveler, when they skim your listing, when they're skimming listings to see where they might want to stay, what you can do on your listing. And I have to say kudos to you, Debbie, and host to host, because I use examples of Portland hosts when I'm speaking, like I did last week in London. And some of the examples I use are the welcome mat that you have in front of your listing. That says, all are welcome. Mm-hmm. I think that is a fantastic image for a host to put in the image gallery. And that's number one. Number two, you have another image in your gallery that says that all are welcome. And it just names, boom, race, color, religion. We welcome, embrace all. I think it's another great way to communicate to the guest from a visual perspective, because we all know, I too am an Airbnb host, we all know, I'm going to slow down when I say this, our guests are not reading every word of our listing.
True.
So you can put in there that you're LGBTQ welcoming somewhere in the description, but we know, unfortunately, our guests aren't reading every single word of our listing.
So if I can interrupt you for
Yes.
just a second, what Robert is talking about is an anti-discrimination poster, basically, that I have a picture of
Yes.
in my photos on my listing. And I will have a copy of that in the show notes. If anybody wants to go in, they can download it from there and add it to their own listings.
Fantastic. And one other item, too. I would also welcome anyone to visit my listing. And my listing has, on my profile description, it has my pronouns. That's the first thing I have. So should you feel inclined to do that as well, I think that right out of the gate lets members of the LGBT community, wow, this person gets it.
Fantastic.
Just right out of the gate.
Okay.
And then you'll also see the first line of my profile states that I am a member of the community fostering a welcoming, safe space. And that is also a line of text that I welcome anyone else to use and make it their own. I welcome to coach anyone. But that also, right the first line, boom, anyone visiting your listing is going to know, wow, this person has gone out of the way to be recognized.
We'll have that link in the show notes too.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah. My pleasure.
Yeah. So Danny, we were talking yesterday, and we were talking about. You surprised me actually at one point when you turned around and said to me, "Oh, I would stay here," and then you said that when we were at the tiny homes too. "Oh, I would stay here," and so that told me that you don't stay in a whole lot of Airbnb or short-term rentals.
I don't typically, no.
So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I'm going to preface it with I'm a flight attendant, and so I travel a lot. And so I think, for the last 22 years of my career, I've become accustomed to staying at hotels. So hotels are my primary place when I travel. And I think it's because of all the amenities. I like to have a lot of amenities at hand when I'm traveling. And so I've kind of steered away from the Airbnb arena, I guess I should say. I've also had a couple bad experiences with Airbnb locations. But to my surprise, the places that we were at yesterday are way above what I would ever look for in accommodations. So that's why I was like, kind of surprised and set back that, I would actually stay at these locations because they feel like home. They have all the amenities that I would look for in a place to stay when I travel. So I guess it's time to give it another shot, really.
Well, and I have to tell you, we are quite fortunate at FabStayz that I feel like we get the best of Airbnb hosts. First of all, they have to have been hosting for a minimum of 7 months. They have to have a minimum of 10 excellent to great reviews. I mean, we have just amazing hosts. Yeah. And so I feel like that's one way that differentiates us as well, is that we're getting the creme de la creme. We're getting the best hosts on there. Absolutely. Whether it be the castle in France or vintage RVs on the hillside of LA or all of these great locations here in Greater Portland.
I would stay in a castle in France. You keep mentioning this castle, I'm ready for a photo shoot. I guess what I should also say is I am sold on first impressions, really. And I've only really stayed at like 2 Airbnbs, and both of them were not good experiences. And so that kind of is what set me. Does that make sense?
It does. Have either one of you ever been discriminated against in your travels? Either at a hotel or in a private it's accommodation
that I can think of.
I think it's more of the anxiety of it. You're just wondering, okay, how is this going to go down? Whether it be going to a hotel with your partner and wondering, okay, what's that front desk experience going to be? And you're just wondering as you're walking up, like, okay, here we go again. And it's just, it's more of like that anxiety that goes with it. Even for me as a host, when my guests ask me, what do you do for a living? And, a simple question, mine's a home share, and, well, I own a gay travel company, and here's this person standing 1.5 feet away from me, and I'm always wondering with anxiety, how is that conversation going to go? Here we go again.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I typically travel with LGBTQ travel companies when I travel, like vacation, when I'm booking vacations. And so a lot of times I know I'm going to be somewhere safe.
You're insulated already by doing that. Okay.
And it's always going to be inclusive. And I like to travel safe.
Yeah.
You know, I try not to go anywhere that I'm not welcome.
No one wants that.
Yeah, no one likes that.
Yeah.
You know, we should actually put a plug in for the app that you showed me a couple of days ago, Robert. Yeah. What is the name of that?
Yeah.
Like Pride Destination?
Yeah, Pride Destination, or destinationpride.org. And it's super cool. You and I were looking at that together yesterday. It is an application that was developed by PFLAG out of Canada, and that's an organization that around the world that gets parents together that have LGBTQ children and that are learning on how to come across and be as accepting as possible in those situations. Well, they developed an app that produces a score for destinations all over the world, and it brings it calculates the laws of marriage equality, and boom, gives a score to every destination around the world.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
Portland was 73.
Yeah.
I think Seattle was 75. Dallas was something like 35.
Yeah, Dallas is not the most welcoming when it comes to the LGBTQ community. We have a great community, I'm going to say, and I'm one of the ambassadors for that community.
Oh, good.
I do a lot of nonprofit work, and our community is suffering there a little bit. I think it's not safe. Even in the area that we have the LGBTQ, like all the gay bars and all of that. And so it's tough at times, but Dallas it's got a lot of work to do. It's
a tough climate for the LGBT community in general today.
Yeah.
Even though there are neighborhoods and there's places we feel safe and there's hosts that we feel safe, in general, here in the U.S., there's this cloud, and that we feel and on a daily basis. We're seeing members of our community, for instance, the transgender community, being marginalized. We see their rights being taken away, in the news, whether it be not being able to, serve in the military or take them off the front line, or just this discrimination that is so hard to believe in our time today in our society that we're seeing. And so we feel it as a community, even though there'll be neighborhoods that are, that we feel great and hosts that make us feel great. We feel this weight. We feel it right now.
Another reason for the home sharing community and the short-term rental community to rally around you and protect you.
Yeah,
and it's like any movement. Our allies in with FabStayz. Any movement can't move forward without our allies. So we are so grateful for our allies.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Danny, can you spell your last name for our listeners, and then tell us a little bit about the incredible things that you're going to be doing?
My boy last name?
So we can find you.
It's
we're going to have that on the show
Cabrero.
notes. Okay.
And my last name is spelled Cabrera. So it's Danny Lee Cabrero on Facebook. And all of my handles are The Liquor Mini.
LIQUOR.
LIQUORMINI. Just like the little liquor mini bottles off the airplane.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And so, it's interesting. I've been doing drag for probably 20 to 25 years. I grew up in the theater my whole life, from when I was probably 6 or 7 years old.
You were a baby drag queen?
I was a baby drag. Well, I wasn't really a drag queen back then. I was mostly a boy in theater, like Marcellus Washburn in The Music Man. And when I became a flight attendant, the schedule for theater is really hard to work around with your schedule as a flight attendant. So that's when I ventured out into the drag world. I needed an outlet for the talent that I have. And so I started doing drag, and I had a production company that toured with the circuit parties, which is kind of like a rave gay dance party with big DJs, and we had in the middle of those parties we would do a show. And so then that scene kind of fizzled out, and I started doing fundraisers for the Wings Foundation, which is a nonprofit that assists flight attendants who are ill or injured or natural disasters at American Airlines. And that's when Liquor Mini was born.
Nice.
And so I've raised I've helped raise over $500,000 for flight attendants at American through the Wings Foundation just by doing drag. We have the lip sync extravaganzas in Dallas, Philly. We're getting ready to start one in Charlotte, Miami, and they raise money. It's a one-night event at these bases, and everybody shows up, and we raise a ton of money.
That's great. I love it.
But then most recently, I've kind of, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I've gotten a lot
That's what you're here for,
yeah,
too.
that's what I'm here for. So this FabStayz
Yes.
came to fruition, and we, now we're on this campaign that's going to go global, which is super exciting.
And we have this super cool vision of a fab flight crew.
Yes.
And Danny is our lead flight attendant.
Yes, so I'll be designing some new uniforms
Yes.
for that. And then most recently, I signed contracts to be the resort director for Vakaya, which is an LGBTQ company that travels. They charter the whole cruise ship, or they buy out the entire resort and sell it to their clients.
Huge.
And so it's huge. And I'm their resort director, which we were in Mexico at Riviera Maya at the Unico 2087 resort last week. And it was super amazing. We had superstar Steve Grand and Jessica Kirsten, Mateo Lane from Netflix, and Joan Rivers, which is my friend Joe Poza. We got to do the commentary for the Halloween event. But I also filmed and did photo shoots for their new video that they just put out for Vakaya, and that was super exciting. So that's a pretty big deal to get that gig.
So I'm going to have to share you, huh?
Yeah, you're going to have to share me. And then, stay tuned. There's a lot of really cool things getting ready to happen in my life. So I'm excited.
Well, you guys are just awesome to be around. I really, really enjoyed this weekend.
Thank you. You too.
It was crazy how our paths crossed.
Yeah.
And
Do
boom.
you want to talk about that?
Well, I was in the chair getting my hair cut, sharing with my hairdresser, as we all do. We share the intimate details.
Well, I don't have a hairdresser.
Okay.
I'm bald.
And I was sharing with him, like, hey, I've got this great idea for promotion for FabStayz. I want a fab flight crew, and then we're gonna feature them in destinations around the world, and we're gonna blog and highlight all the great things to do in all these different destinations. And then my hairdresser, Mark, says, well, do you know my friend Danny? I'm like, no, I don't. He goes, oh my God, he works for American Airlines. He does drag. I'm like, I must meet him. Boom, we're on Facebook. Boom, we're on a phone call. Boom, we're on location. So it was crazy.
I know.
A whirlwind.
The world is an amazing place, and, there's a lot of good things that happen in the world, and that's one of these are the good things. So
I feel quite fortunate.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm excited.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
This was one of my most fun episodes. You can tell that Robert and Danny are energetic and creative, can't you? I hope you enjoyed listening as much as I enjoyed chatting with them. Please take a minute to leave a review and tell your friends about our podcast. We have a 2-part series coming up on tiny homes, so be sure to tune in for that one as well. In fact, if you hit subscribe on your podcast app, it will automatically download on your phone when Rob gets it published. You're welcome to join our Facebook group at Hosting Your Home, and don't forget to browse the website for our trade association at hosttohost.org. Our nonprofit is growing and adding more new things for hosts all the time. See you soon. Bye for now.